Hi, this is Danielle Shay, and I'm the Director of Options at Simpler Trading. Welcome to today's episode of your Daily 5. So today I'm going to be talking about one of my favorite sectors right now that I think is really going to be taking off even more than it already is, and this is going to be the cloud computing sector, okay? So whenever I'm looking at a specific industry group or a specific sector, I always like to start looking overall at the ETF. I do that for two reasons. Number one, there's a lot of people out there that like to invest in ETFs. They're definitely a little bit slower and steady than the actual stock. And because when I see a setup on the ETF chart, and then I see the same setup on similar stocks within that ETF, that's when I know it's a pretty good high probability setup. So I'm going to start off by looking at SKYY. This is a cloud computing ETF. It's only 76 bucks about. So that makes it a low price for investors, especially those of you, like I said, that want to be a little bit more conservative. The reason why I like this chart here is you can see how nice and slow and steady the pullbacks are, okay? It makes it a little bit easier. This last time it pulled back directly to the 50-period simple, right at a key area of support at the $75 price point. Now, when it did that, there's also consolidation, okay? So in my trading, I trade directionally. I like to look for consolidation breakouts. And right here, I have positive volume. These white dots are demonstrating consolidation. And you can see with these red candles, they're holding this key area of support perfectly. So ideally, what I like to do is I like to trade this for a consolidation breakout up to about the 81, 82 price point, okay? Now keep in mind, there is going to be resistance on the way up at about 78, 81, but for this one, I honestly like it just to buy and hold. Sometimes I'll trade options on ETFs as well, but typically I trade options on these larger cap names a little bit more frequently and then just buy and hold the ETFs. So let's talk about my favorite cloud stocks. Microsoft is absolutely one of them. Microsoft is one of the strongest stocks out there, and pretty much whenever it pulls back, I'm looking at it for a buy. As you can see, it has some really nice steady dips, and then up it goes, up it goes, up it goes. This one pulled back a little bit further, but what was great about this is we had some consolidation, okay? I love when you get this consolidation on these really strong stocks, especially when you have the same type of setups across multiple stocks in a sector, because typically that means that whole sector is going to move with that consolidation. So Microsoft had some consolidation. It broke out to 217. It didn't quite make my 220 price target, but then it pulled back again. Perfect. It's on sale. It also has a really nice Fibonacci area of support right here at the $200 price point, and it has a great target right here at about 221 and then another target at 226. Now I never know exactly which target it's going to make because I have to watch resistance on the way up. You know, you might trade up here, find some resistance, come back down, and then eventually go up to 221. But these are the three areas that I look at: resistance, first target, second target. So I love a trade on Microsoft right now up to that price point. The next one is going to be SalesForce. This is definitely one of the best cloud leaders right now. You can also see you have this nice, slow and steady 5-star pattern. Again, you pull back to the 50-period simple. You have consolidation. You have positive volume. And you know what I love about this one is this one also has an earnings report coming up, okay? So typically with these strong stocks, when you have an earnings report, a lot of time these companies are gonna go bid into the report as people want to get into them before a positive report, okay? So what I like to do in the options market is I like to buy them about 14 days or so before the report, and then I like to trade them higher. Now, I do own SalesForce stock as well, but for this one in particular, I'm trading it in the options market, and I'm targeting the 210 and then the 215 price point. So same thing like Microsoft, you know, you always have to keep in mind when you have overhead resistance, you might get a little bit of a pause there. That's why I call it the easy target. Typically targeting resistance is going to be easier than targeting a full swing, but I'll do a little bit of both. Target the easy target, then target the full swing, all right? As a rule, generally with options, I get out of them before the report just because of the IV crush. There's a lot of volatility involved, but with stock, I hold long term. The next one is going to be Adobe. So again, another one of my favorite cloud kings here. And as you can see, same thing. You have consolidation. These white and red dots with this positive momentum mean that you're seeing consolidation that's likely going to break out, okay? So, you know, for me, I love trading momentum. I love trading breakouts, especially on strong stocks. And with Adobe, you can see that it's hit those easy target areas multiple times, okay? You found that pause at resistance at 450, 460. So we've already made that area. So the next target is going to be 485 and then this big round number of 500. Adobe also has an earnings report coming up in September, which again makes for a great opportunity for the trade into earnings. Now, the last one I'm going to talk about is a little bit more volatile because it's a more recent IPO, but I love throwing some of these in here, especially for investors that like lower price stocks. For me, when I'm adding stuff to my son's account, you know, I love adding these little guys that I think have a big potential for growth. Now, since the IPO, it's traded really nicely. You have a nice solid trend. And again, a nice pullback to about the 34 EMA with some consolidation, with some overhead price targets at 45 and then at 50. So for all of these, you know, I love trading them in the options market. I also do own all of them in the stock market because I think that, you know, these are some of the best long-term plays right now. The cloud has been incredibly hot, even throughout the coronavirus. I mean, it has not been impacted whatsoever. These cloud kings have just continued to thrive. And as consumer behavior changes and more people move to online than there are even right now, this is an industry group that's going to continue to thrive. So thank you so much for watching this episode of your Daily 5. If you want to follow me, you can learn more about me and my strategies at my free newsletter at 5startrader.com. I'm also pretty active on Twitter at Trader Danielle. And I do have an options picking service that you can find by going to simplertrading.com/StockCharts if you are interested. In that service, I do monthly live trading. I send out my real-time trade alerts as well as my trade spreadsheet and my weekly watch list. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I will see you in the next episode.
Hey, Grayson Rose here with StockCharts. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, consider giving it a like down below, maybe leave us a comment, and if you're new to the channel, you can subscribe at the link up above. We're gonna bring you daily content from an incredible collection of technical analysts and financial experts.